they block them on all their social medias. You're the one wiping the tears. You're the one driving to their house at 11 o'clock at night. And it was just really sad, and I didn't go that night. I think I cried. He said if you look around your circle of friends and you're not inspired, you don't have a circle, you have a cage. You don't want to be in a cage. Hey guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Victoria Garrick, and this is part 2 of Girl Talk, the Friends edition. We're about to get so real about feeling excluded, feeling like you don't have enough friends, feeling like you're insecure about your friends, or feeling like you're struggling to make friends, or feeling like you have toxic friends, or a lot of things revolving around friends and friendships. So without further ado, I have your questions. I'm gonna get real and answer them right now. The first question is how to stay in touch with friends after graduation. When you're separated from friends for the first time, and if it's gonna be a long time, right? Like if you graduate, you're not going back to school together, you're gonna realize who actually cares about you and what sort of friend those people are. For example, I have had long distance friendships with my high school friends after graduation, and I was able to maintain my 2 most beloved friendships throughout college. I'm still just as close with these girls, I still love them, and we managed to FaceTime talk, see each other on breaks, and really make an effort. But on the other hand, I've graduated and have friends graduated and seen those friendships kind of quiet down. It's sad and it's not the best because you always wonder what is this person thinking? Why haven't they checked in on me? And then you get upset so you don't want to check in on them, and you don't really know whose fault it is or where it's coming from. And I'm a very confrontational person, so if I have a friend, I am laying everything out on the table, we are talking about it, we are saying it, there is no elephant in the room ever. I can't function that way as a human. I'm talking about it, I'm confronting people, and that typically in the past has been very intimidating for others, and they don't necessarily love it about me. And so recently I felt like I was getting distant with a friend after graduation, and after letting this go on for a while and trying to drop some hints and suspect things, I just decided to draft a really long message and send it over. And the response I got from the friend was, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry you feel this way, I can't believe it, I still consider you one of my best friends. I felt really good after I kind of voiced that to the person, and I think both of us have been making sure we're communicating more so that we can feel like that friendship is definitely more present. One thing I will say about that though is there are some people who are just your best friends when you're with them, but when you're not with them, they're MIA. I feel like we all have that friend that just never texts, never Snapchats, never calls, but when you're with them, it's back to square one. So I think you'll also kind of learn what role and what type of friend people want to be in your life. And similarly with you, you might realize oh, I didn't really like that person, or I don't really miss them. Maybe it was just a circumstance. I felt like we were good friends, but we're not. So there's a lot of things you're gonna learn. I would say just don't freak out too much about it yet. Go in with the understanding that everyone's figuring this out, everyone is graduating, and everyone's missing each other as well. And it's a learning experience, and friendships can even grow stronger from that. The next question is, how do you know if someone's a true friend? This is a really great thing to talk about, and I almost to a fault care so much about this that I'm very selective with my friends. I have very strict criteria to consider someone one of my best friends. I've even been told by my best friends my standards for friends are too high and I need to lower them or I'm never gonna make friends. So I know that this is definitely something I need to work on. But in general, I would say the 2 things that make up a true friend are 1, they care about you, AKA they check in on you, they ask how you're doing, they care about you and your well-being. And the second thing I would say is a true friend genuinely wills the best for you. And what that means is this person wants you to succeed in life, they want you to thrive, they want you to be happy, they want you to do well. It's very hard to find friends who genuinely will the best for us, because there are definitely people who don't really, they like you and they like hanging out with you, but they want to do better. Or they think you're great, but don't do that great. And so kind of finding people that actually want the best for you is very hard to find. Oh, the one other thing I would say about this is loyalty. I think a true friend is loyal, not in the sense that they're not friends with anyone else, but in the sense that they do not talk about you badly behind your back. That is huge. I have no tolerance for that. If someone talks badly about me behind my back and it gets back to me, done. That's not who I am as a friend. I'm so much so anti that if I'm in a group or someone and someone brings up my friend, I am the person that's hey, that's my friend, I don't want to talk about her. I think that's the most like defining trait about my best friends, which makes it hard for me to make friends. And also I know I hold myself the same standard. So I would never say anything about my friends I would not want them to hear. Another thing I'll say, pro tip, and this is also kind of vetting your true friends from your friends. If a person comes up to you and is like, I really want to tell you what so-and-so said. I can't believe she said this about you. Your first thought should be, why would so-and-so feel comfortable talking badly about me to you? Because if that person's really your friend and a true friend, why would people be comfortable talking badly about you to them? So vet it out. The next question is, how do I deal with toxic friends? I would say with toxic friends, if you're not ready to let go of that friendship, which we'll get into in a little bit, you need to set up boundaries. Let's say you have a friend that constantly is calling and texting you about the person that keeps cheating on them. And every time they cry and I hate this person, they block them on all their social medias, you're the one wiping the tears, you're the one driving to their house at 11 o'clock at night and consoling them and telling them they're so much better than this guy, and then the next week they're with the guy. And then the week after that, they break up again and you're the one picking up the pieces and then they go back. That's toxic. And I also, similarly, like I can't do that. If a friend comes to me and asks for my advice and I give them advice, I'm not gonna give again. Like I've told you what I feel about the situation. And so if you're gonna go with it, that's your life, but then don't come to me and listen to me every time it goes badly and then go back to it. So in that situation, you need to set up a boundary. And it can be a personal boundary where you're like, you know what? Next time so-and-so calls me to come over or texts me that their person cheated on them, I'm just not gonna be available. It's hard, but you're important, your feelings are important, and a toxic friend, if they're pulling from your energy or you're constantly pouring from your cup, you gotta do something about it. How do I make new friends in middle school, high school, or college? I think the best thing that you can do is put yourself out there. I'm very outgoing, so that worked for me. I know other people aren't as outgoing. Just like little gestures one-on-one with someone of kindness, I think go a really long way. I also think it's important to put in the effort. So for example, my senior year of college, I kind of just like woke up and was like, oh my gosh, I have no friends that are not athletes. I mean, I had like 3-4 friends who were, and it's so funny, you guys, I'm the kind of person where I'm like, I have 3 people I would die for and everyone else is an acquaintance.
Oh, that's cold.
So after a while, I was like, I probably need to make some new friends. And there was this girl who I thought was really cool. We really got along great and we should spend more time together. And so I invited them to do like a lunch and something like that. We went and did it. And I remember during the whole time I was thinking like, oh, I feel like they're not really paying attention, like kind of on their phone, like, and it was just like a bummer because I was like so present, so there to like get to know this person and become closer. And so I got home and I talked to my best friend Aubrey about it, and Aubrey was like, Victoria, you have to remember that you're actively going on this friend date with the intention that you want to make a new friend and become better friends, and she's just like, cool, I'm getting lunch with Victoria. Like, she doesn't have an agenda. And it was so funny, I started laughing. I was like, that's so true. You know, when we're trying to make friends, it's on the forefront of our mind. Like, how am I talking to this person? Do they like me? Are they hanging out with me? And then for them, like, they have literally no idea what we're trying to do. So you gotta remember that when you're trying to make new friends, and don't be so hard on yourself and judge so much what the person's doing. So I think in those situations too, like, I'll always just be like, it was so fun hanging out with you today. Love getting closer. You're such a cool person, heart. Like, and you can kind of just like kind of let them know like you're building something. I don't know, that's what I would do. How do you deal with being excluded from friend groups? Oh, okay guys. This is gonna be, the big part of the video. So I'm just scared out. Okay, so in high school, I was definitely a part of a friend group that was exclusive. And I never really thought in depth about it because I was a person who was included, like the group included me. So I didn't know what it was like to feel excluded. And then I got to college and I kind of had all these real talk. I kind of had all these expectations for the volleyball team. We're gonna be my bridesmaids, we're gonna all love each other. Like I had all these expectations for this girl group volleyball team. We're gonna be besties. And I definitely had a few times where I was excluded. And it wasn't intentional, like, you know, it's never something someone says is intentional. It's not like they're actively thinking, let's not invite Victoria. But sometimes things happen and you're not thought of. Like, they don't think to invite you. And I remember in those times just being like, like, you know, seeing it on the Snapchat or the Instagram and, you know, why was I invited? Like, why didn't they think to bring me? And that sucked. Like, those nights sucked. I remember one time a group of us were all gonna go to the beach, and I had offered to drive a group of people, and like no one really responded about being in my car, and like all the car situations were figured out, and then I wasn't included in a car, and like I had offered to be a driver, and it was just really sad, and I didn't go that night. I think I like cried. Oh, truth. There are people who I'm sure would be like so surprised that that happened, or I felt that way, because there's always miscommunications, you know. I don't ever think it's malicious intent, but sometimes things happen and you feel excluded, and it sucks. And in feeling excluded, I realized like I never want to exclude people. We have to stop being mean to each other. I think I made a TikTok about this the other day, and it was pretty spot on.
Don't you hate it when girls... No, you didn't hear me. When girls... No, I like love it when girls do that. I didn't even say... Like, I wish they would do it more, you know?
So long story short, I know what it's like to feel excluded, and I never wanted someone to feel like they were on the outside looking in. Oh my god, that is the best song ever. Wait, you guys, I got premature. Remember how dramatic I was about that being the meat of the video? Oh, okay guys, this is gonna be, the big part of the video. Well, this is actually the meat of the video. I think I forgot what I wanted to be the meat of the video. This is the meat of the video. Here it is. I feel like I don't have a friend group and I'm insecure. It's almost like I submitted that question to myself. No, but seriously, when I saw this, I was like, same. We see in society all these people who have 7 or 8 friends, and they're in every single picture, and they have their text group, and they all go to the birthdays together, and they're always, you know they're a group. And I don't have that. For a very long time, this made me super sad. Like, I literally talked about this in therapy earlier this year, because on that Friday night or on my birthday, it wasn't like I had my go-to 7 people I could text to come. I have my people. I have a friend here who's incredible, a friend here who's amazing, a friend here who's the best, a friend here who's so helpful. I have about 5 people who are true, elite, amazing, radiant friends. Just because those 5 don't all live in the same city as me, aren't all the same age, and don't all know each other, doesn't mean that that's not my own little group made up of my awesome 5 friends. I was so consumed with having this group that I saw everywhere that I couldn't focus on the incredible friendships I did have, and I was really taking those for granted, and I wasn't being grateful for them. The second thing I'll say about that, and it's not to be catty or negative, but it's pretty much the truth, is those friend groups, you guys, they're not all rainbows and butterflies. My friends that are my best friends are in groups, and I remember one time like crying to my friend, like, I'm so sad I don't have a group I'm in, whatnot. And if you guys are like, why didn't you just join her group? I didn't really click with those girls. I didn't really want to be in the group. I was just upset I didn't have a group. And my friend was like, Victoria, we all argue. So-and-so was saying this person's annoying. These 2 don't want to live together. This one excluded that one. And it was just kind of refreshing to think like, in these friend groups, nothing's perfect. And when I think about all the friend groups I have friends that are in, I always think about, they always say like, oh, and so-and-so's being annoying, or it's not as good as it seems, or we don't really like her, but she comes. Like, it's never perfect. So I think this idea of a perfect friend group where everything's amazing just isn't really realistic, and don't let yourself feel like that's happening and you're not a part of it and there's something wrong with you. There's nothing wrong with you. It's okay to just have 1 or 2 really good friends. I mean, that's like the life I live, and I'm so grateful for those friends, and I would not trade those friends for a group of 10 any day. So if you don't have a group, it's okay. I don't have a group. We can be in a group together. This can be our little group community. You don't need that to be an awesome, great person or an awesome, great human. You don't need a group. The last question is how to move on from a friendship. First of all, you know when to move on from a friendship. Sorry, this is my meat. I feel like you know when to move on from a friendship when the friendship is no longer bringing you anything positive. And I think you can really love someone and really care about them, but you don't necessarily have to be a part of it anymore. I've seen some amazing quotes about this. I forget what it was, but something was along the lines of, you know, when you move on from someone else, you allow space for someone new. You know in your heart what's best for you, and sometimes things come to an end. So if you're no longer receiving anything positive from the friend and you feel like you're not growing and learning and they don't inspire you, oh my gosh, you know what? I saw this amazing quote. He said, if you look around your circle of friends and you're not inspired, you don't have a circle, you have a cage. You don't want to be in a cage. And you got to be protective of yourself. And I think a lot of times it can be really hard to put ourselves first, especially in friendships, right? Like, we're going to hurt feelings, but you cannot live for other people. You have to live for yourself. There's this other quote. Sorry, you guys, I'm such like a mirror message person. It's painful to carve your own path, but it's a slow death to stay committed to someone else's. Amazing. That's by the holistic psychologist. She's brilliant. Follow her Instagram, and I had her on RealPod, so you have to listen to it. Link in bio. But just an amazing quote on, like, it's going to be painful to do something for yourself, but it is slowly painful every single day to not be happy for the sake of others. It's not easy, and you'll definitely shed some tears. It's definitely going to be a struggle, but you'll know when to walk away from someone if you really do that hard work and ask yourself the tough questions. Well, that is kind of a sad note to end on. What can I talk about to make the end happy? I think the last thing I'll say, and this is very hopeful, and my mom's been telling me this a lot recently, I'm such a loser, is that you're gonna meet many, many people along the course of your life. So you'll have people you meet in preschool, middle school, high school, college, work, when you have kids, their parents, then when you have another job, then when you retire, your neighbors on the street. Like, there's all these stages of life. You're gonna meet new people, live in new places, and have exposure to new relationship opportunities. So if right now in this exact moment you're feeling lonely, or you're feeling like you don't have enough friends, or you don't like your situation, hang on to the hope that there's gonna be other opportunities, another team to be on, another school you'll go to, a job you'll get, a neighbor you'll meet, where you can develop that really close friendship. And that is something that really excites me, and you know, everything will line up the way it is meant to be. I hope you enjoyed this Girl Talk Part 2 Friends Edition. If you guys want more, I could do another one. Let me know in the comments, or I can do another Girl Talk with an emphasis on another aspect of life, but let me know. Don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel, follow my social media accounts, Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, woo! And I will see you guys in my next video next Thursday.